Greetings, friends. My name is Pavel Stelmach, and now we'll dive in the top news of this day. August 29th is the day of remembrance of defenders of Ukraine who died in a struggle for the independence, sovereignty, and territorial integrity of Ukraine. Ukraine is going through the biggest test in recent history, the struggle for independence and territorial integrity against the war of the Russian aggressor.
Щороку, 29 серпня, ми вшановуємо пам'ять українців та українок, які віддали своє життя.
Every year, on August 29th, we honor the memory of Ukrainians who gave their lives defending our country, defending Ukraine's independence, freedom for all our people, the territorial integrity of Ukraine, Ukraine's right to be among free nations. Words are never enough to express what we feel, and let the tears that will be shed today, let the silence that will sound louder than any words, let our respect, which is absolutely sincere, tell everyone what we really feel and how grateful we are to all our defenders whose lives became the life of Ukraine.
The modern Russian-Ukrainian war has been going on since 2014. It is this year, on August 29th, hundreds of our defenders laid down their lives on the altar of freedom and independence near Ilovaisk. On August 29th, we remember not only those who died in the Ilovaisk tragedy, but all the fallen defenders of Ukraine, both at the beginning of the Russian aggression and during the full-scale invasion now. Russian troops invaded the Ukrainian Donbass in 2014, occupied our lands since then. What's more, during the battles for Ilovaisk, the Russians promised a green corridor for the exit of Ukrainian soldiers and volunteers, but already in the usual manner for the Russians, they shot Ukrainian soldiers in the back. This is just another proof that any agreements with the Russians will not be fulfilled. In this war, we are paying an extremely high price. While the war is going on, we cannot tell the death toll, name everyone by name, or tell all the stories. However, we must make every effort to preserve the memory and honor of each and everyone. Despite the large number of losses in the modern Russian-Ukrainian war, we already have a historic victory, a united nation ready to fight for the freedom and liberty. August 29th marks 1 year since the beginning of the offensive operation to liberate the right bank of Kherson region. During the war, Ukrainian soldiers mastered various types of combat operations. They have proven themselves excellently in maneuver warfare, in defense, in rapid breakthroughs, and in overcoming the echelon defense of the enemy. The current counteroffensive is the most difficult military operation of those that have had to be carried out so far. The enemy built powerful fortifications, mined the area, and concentrated a significant number of personnel, military equipment, and weapons there. The counteroffensive in the Zaporizhia and Donetsk regions is reminiscent of last year's liberation of the right bank Kherson region. Then it took just as long to overcome advanced Russian positions, and after their breakthrough, they moved forward quickly. The main process of this stage of the counteroffensive cannot be seen on the map. The main scene now is the destruction of enemy logistics, places of concentration of personnel and military power. It was this tactic that brought victory last year.
Короткий звіт. Головне, звісно, ставка.
The key thing, of course, is the staff. It concerned what we are doing now and what we need to be prepared for. First of all, the front line. First of all, the Kupiansk direction, the key spots in Donetsk region, Bakhmut, Avdiivka, Marinka, and the southern direction. In particular, Orikhiv, reports by General Zaluzhny, Syrsky, and Ternavsky. A report by the chief of the main intelligence directorate on the plans of the occupiers. We will respond on their intentions. We will, and in a way they do not expect.
Despite fierce resistance, the defense forces of Ukraine are moving forward. The liberation of Robotene is another important victory on this path. In his speech to the participants of the 10th All-Russian Day of Catholic Youth in St. Petersburg, Pope Francis called his beliefs that the descendants of the great empire of Peter I and Catherine II, and urged them never to give up the heritage of Great Russia. First of all, I am interested in the question of how many Catholics are there in Russia, to whom the Pope addressed to. Since Patriarch Kirill is still an Orthodox Patriarch, and the spread of Catholicism in Russia in general was certainly contrary to, not thanks to, something. After all, there was no religion in the Soviet Union at all, and after the collapse of the USSR, there was not large number of Catholic migrants who would have brought this particular phase. For me, Catholics in Russia are like the Orthodox Church in Poland. Perhaps it exists, but its influence is very difficult to determine or see. However, the popes appeal to the impudent and dangerous, because they can be perceived as an encouragement of Russian imperialism. It was Russian imperialism that caused the bloody war against Ukraine and led to this enormous suffering and innocent people. Peter I and Catherine II were directly contributed to the destruction of Ukrainian people and now inspire Putin along with other legacies of the Russian Empire, which denied Ukrainians the right to national self-determination.
It is very unfortunate that Russian ideas, which are actually the cause of Russians' chronic aggressiveness, knowingly or unknowingly, sound from the lips of the Pope, whose mission, in our understanding, is precisely to open the eyes of Russian youth to the destructive course of the current Russian leadership. Oleg Nikolenko, spokesperson of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine, on Facebook.
Any form of imperialism in the modern world carries the threat of a war of aggression and contradicts the Christian ethics of peace and justice. Ukrainian Greek Catholics and Roman Catholics have already distanced themselves from the statements of Pope Francis. And together with all citizens of Ukraine of various religious beliefs, they strongly condemn the ideology of the Russian world and call on the Vatican to show solidarity not with the empire, but with its victims. For today, that concludes our video. Thank you for watching and stay updated. Subscribe to UATV English YouTube channel for more news from Ukraine. Your support is that really matters. Goodbye.